Hi everyone. Let's understand today about what is Azure VM Images and why it is so important and what are the benefits of using a VM images in your organization. And let's also deep dive into the labs in how we can create images using PowerShell, Portal, and the different types of services which Azure is providing to help with VM images. So what is a VM image? uh, it's just an OS. And if when we are talking about Azure VM images, Azure is helping you to build your own custom images. And to talk about that, how does the image work? So VM images work. So when you try to create your virtual machine, you try to take the base image from either a Windows or a Linux machine, and on that you make some customizations like installing some softwares which you needed, and then you build a custom image out of it, or a image which you can use it in shared gallery image. So through which this image you can create multiple VMs, and there is no point of uh, again installing this in all this customized softwares which you wanted. And this helps in the organization in lot of ways. So the benefits which we come out of that is it saves you a lot of time, because you don't need to continuously every time you install a machine from your marketplace you need to keep installing the necessary prerequisite softwares and everything. But here when we talk about EM images, you no need to actually do that, because once you have built an image with the prerequisite softwares and you create VMs, automatically those VMs will have the pre-configured softwares with them. And similarly, this concept of VM images helps us to avoid any mistakes. So it's just not one specific software in an organization. They would need lot of prerequisite softwares to run a workload. And when that is being done, we need to have the specific versions of that softwares. And this, when we try to do it manually, it might lead to a lot of errors. Whereas when we try it from the VM images, we create our own VMs. It end of the day helps us avoiding a lot of errors and mistakes. The other most important point why organizations love to have their own images is because of security and compliance. They would like to have lot of security standards for a specific VM when it is being created. And all those governance policies, standards, everything can be maintained in the your custom image which you are trying to create. And so that is where I wanted to talk about how it is so helpful here. So the images which you are creating is helpful in terms of development environment and the QA environment and all that. And there will be a lot of different teams who would need different types of uh, prerequisites in their machines. Testing team would need testing software, development team would need developing and static code analysis tools and all that. And similarly, DevOps teams would like to have DevOps tools installed in their machines, and DevOps agents would need specific prerequisite softwares to run the application, to build the application, and to test the application, and to deploy and everything. So all this makes at ease when where you save a lot of time when you create machines using these images. We'll help you. We'll get into and we'll get to know from the labs how will we create the images and all that in the further videos. But the four key attributes which you have to be aware of in an image is publisher, offers, queue, and version. So the publisher is like for a Windows machines, that is Microsoft Windows Server, and the offer which comes is in Windows or Server, and there are like Windows 10, Windows 8, and all that. So if you talk about 2019 data center Windows machine, the SKU will be coming as 2019 data center. In that also 2019 data center, we have different versions in it. and the that versions we can actually. So when you try to build your image, custom image, you have to be very the organize in organizations you would be seeing them being very specific about publisher, offers, queue, and version. It's all the reasons is because of maintaining the security and compliance standards. And it's just not security and compliance standards, but to application to run properly, they would be choosing some necessary configured OS and configurations of softwares which are compatible with that respective versions of OS and everything. So based on that, all these key attributes are very important while we are trying to build images. So let us so as I mentioned, for a testing team, we might need when we create VMs, we might need a JUnit to be installed in it, Selenium to be installed in it, JDK to be installed in it. When we talk about DevOps teams, they would like to have Docker software in them, Terraform software in them, Ansible, NuGet packages, and Azure CLI, AWS. So there are a lot many prerequisites which a DevOps teams, testing teams, a software developer teams would need. So we can't keep creating all these VMs and we can't manually install all this. So there are like 100 members in testing team. We can't create, we have to create 100 VMs, but will not be in a position to keep installing all this, uh, what do you say, these tools. And if there is any changes in their version of their tool and all these VMs have to be updated, you can't keep doing it manually. So we build the CM images. First, we take an OS and we install that all the custom softwares and we make an image out of it, and we update these VMs accordingly. So we'll see the different types of processes which organizations follow in the next coming slides. But this is more key, important essence of an image, and the benefits of doing taking an image has a lot of benefits. That's why organizations prefer to have their own images, and that is termed as golden image. So there are Azure is providing us two services through which we can actually utilize this the benefit what we wanted to achieve. One is through custom managed image, and the other one is shared gallery image. When we talk about what is a custom managed image, we create a managed image from generalizing a virtual machine. So how can we generalize a virtual machine? So first, the machine has to be stopped, and we generalize it. And generalize means all the user information will be lost, will be removed, and only the specific configuration of the software will be there with the machine and everything. And with that, they build a custom OS image, and from that image we can create multiple VMs. But how many VMs can we create? With one managed image, we can concurrently create or simultaneously create 20 VMs. And custom managed images are region specific. So that which means uh, that if you're trying to create an VM image in East US, using this East US VM image, you can only create VMs in East US. Now, if you wanted to have in West US, similarly, you have to have an image in West US region so that you can create VMs in West US. So that's why custom managed images are region specific. And as I said, there are limitations. So simultaneously, if you wanted to create 20 virtual machines or 20 simultaneous deployments using this custom managed image, you can do it, but that is a limitation. If you wanted to exceed more than that, no, it is not gonna work. And so unless that deployments are completed, it's not helpful. But if there are organizations who are rapidly working on this VM images, because just they have too many teams who are using different types of VMs, and they are like having standard security as a compliance standards and as a reasons, and they are so specific in terms of their configurations. This is the time where they actually maintain shared gallery images. So service, they use a shared gallery image service. What does a shared gallery image service help with? It helps in replicating the images which has been created in a region into secondary regions. So if you're trying to create a shared gallery image, the VM image in East US, you can replicate that VM image in West US region, in Central India, and all that. So this helps in terms of creating VM images, VMs in that particular region using the images from the other regions. And the other one is just shade gallery image doesn't just help with replication but also versioning. So you have right now it for an OS you have JUnit and Selenium with a specific version, and suddenly the image the Selenium was updated and you wanted to have the updated version in your image. So the previous version image you keep it as 1.0, and the new version of the image which you're creating with the new version of Selenium will have 1.1. So this so it shade gallery image really helps in terms of versioning and is very important. And so you can actually, and the way you manage this images and all that will just be very easier, and that's why they're saying a grouping of that resources for an easier management. The other one is shade gallery images are available, they are zone redundant, so that it is available across the availability zones and offers so it is easier in terms of providing the service in terms of the zone failures and everything. And it supports in premium storage. So if you are planning to actually use this storage option and everything, it supports in premium storage support and sharing to come here. So you can actually help share with when we talk about shade gallery image, we can actually share it across subscriptions. We can share it across different tenants entirely. So that's what it's like sharing to the community. When I say sharing to the community, suppose in your subscription you have created your shade gallery image, you can share that shade gallery image specifically to the other subs tenants entirely to of a different organization. Only just it needs an authentication and all that. We can even try to do that, and it is most commonly also used by the organizations whoever are very specific on that. They wanted their images to be shared across different tenants, not just subscription. And as a shade gallery image can help us to create VMs more than 20 VMs concurrent, more than 20 VMs. So you can actually scale up to any number of VMs. When I say any number of VMs, it's not like 1,000 and all that. But yes, when you wanted to have the concurrent deployments of VMs within the shade gallery image, you can have more than 20, not limited to the 20 like custom managed image. So you can simultaneously replicate into different regions. So that's where this is what it was trying to do, scaling your deployments with resource replicas in each region. So so how does a shared gallery image is like? If you talk about this is one image, image one, definition one. So when we say image definition one, the four attributes are publisher. If you see the publisher offers queue and version, so based on that the definition image definition will be formed. And once you create an image definition, you can have your own versions in it, 1.0.0 and 1.0.1. And similarly like image definition 2, like this is like 2019 data center, this is like Windows 2010 Windows 10, and this is something like Ubuntu 20.04, and this is like CentOS. So you're trying to have your own custom images, installing your custom softwares in that, and you can replicate that into different regions, each of these images, and it's your choice, and accordingly you can utilize it for creating the VMs. So mostly these images are being used not only to just for VMs, it is also for virtual machine scale sets. And we have another solution which Azure is providing, which really helps in terms of building images, and that's something new, which is image builder solution. So through using the image builder solution, you can actually integrate to shade gallery image, and image builder automatically takes the source image from the market, and accordingly from whatever scripts you have defined and whatever pre-configured software you have to install, all that will can be done by image builder simultaneously. So this the removes the manual effort which you wanted. So you just have to mention what the four attributes of publisher, SKU, and version and all that. So accordingly, whatever custom software you wanted to do it, So it in even that manual intervention of building the virtual VM image will also be resolved by image builder, and that can be integrated with image gallery, and image gallery can be integrated with the other VM virtual machine scale sets or other deployment solutions, wherever which the respective VMs are taking these images and accordingly automatically updating that images. So that's one process. And organizations follow a golden image publishing process. So they take a base image from Azure Marketplace, and once they take it from the Azure Marketplace, we start using the image builder here. So this is nothing but the image builder, and it's try to build the image, and it version. So it will start checking, it will start saying what is, it will start tattooing. This is called tattooing way. So it will tattoo what is a publish date and source and everything, and it validates all the custom software has been installed or not. If any of the custom software, if anything has been failed in terms of the solutions custom software was done, then they repeat the solution of building the image once again. And once everything is successful, if it is no, then the cycle is repeated, and if it is yes, then automatically everything is successful, then it is yes, then automatically this image will be pushed into shade gallery image. First they will have to version that image in the shade gallery, and they will maintain in the Azure shade gallery image. So that's how the golden image process will be there. So what is meant by golden image here? Golden image is uh, whatever the image through which you wanted to run your workload, that is concerned. So you have you can have multiple images, as I mentioned, the versions, different versions, but right now at this point of time for your workload to run, what is the preferred image which you are trying to take, that will be called as golden image. And if we talk about the rest, the labs point of view, let's try to deep dive in the further videos about how to create a custom managed image using Linux VM. And similarly, how we'll try to have another video on how to create a custom managed image using Windows VM. And we look at how do we create a shade gallery image. In another video, we'll try replicating this process of validate publishing this golden image process, where we'll try to take a source image. So all this process of automatic, either we'll try to automate the solution, or at least we'll try to have the manual way of doing using this image builder and all that to achieve this image publishing, golden image publishing process. Yeah. Thank you guys. So stay tuned for the further videos.